Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that aims to cut through the noise, get you properly informed, maybe find a few surprises, and, well, hopefully keep you listening.
Indeed. And today, we're diving into something quite fascinating, the global market for probiotic drinks.
Hmm.
It's growing really fast.
It really is. And for this deep dive, we're working from some solid data, the probiotic drinks, a global market forecast to 2033 report. That's from Cognitive Market Research.
Yeah, it's a really detailed report, packed with insights. Our goal today is basically to unpack that for you.
Exactly. We want to pull out the key trends, some pretty eye-opening growth numbers, and look at where things are shifting regionally. Give you a clear picture of where this whole industry is heading.
And the momentum is definitely there. It's quite striking.
Okay, so let's get into the big picture first, the global numbers.
Right. So if we look back at 2021, the market globally was valued at around $10.4 billion.
Right.
That's 10,447.1 million specifically.
10.4 billion, okay.
Yeah. And fast forward just to 2025, so not that far off, it's projected to hit nearly $13.5 billion, $13,490.4 million.
Wow, okay. That's already a decent jump in just 4 years. But the longer-term forecast is where it gets really interesting, right?
That's where it gets really impressive. By 2033, the forecast suggests it's going to climb significantly. We're talking $22,494.8 million.
So almost $22.5 billion.
So nearly doubling from that 2021 figure. That's huge. What's the growth rate behind that?
It works out to a compound annual growth rate, a CGR of 6.6%, which is, very healthy.
6.6% CGR globally.
Yeah.
So what does that signal? I mean, beyond just big numbers, what does that tell us about, say, consumer trends?
Well, that 6.6% isn't just abstract. It really points to a fundamental shift, I think. A growing global awareness about health, specifically proactive health.
Proactive health, like preventative measures.
Exactly, especially gut health. That seems to be a major driver. People are actively seeking out functional foods and drinks, things that offer benefits beyond just basic nutrition. So it's not just a fad. It feels more like a sustained change in how people think about wellness.
I'd say so. It suggests a longer-term behavioral shift. People are investing more in their daily health routines.
Makes sense. Okay, so that's the global picture. Strong growth driven by health awareness. Now let's zoom in. Where is this growth actually happening? Is it even across the board, or are there hotspots? Let's maybe start with North America.
Okay, North America, it's definitely a major market. Back in 2021, it was worth about $3.4 billion, $3,395.31 million. By 2025, that's expected to be around $4.3 billion.
Yeah.
And looking out to 2033, the projection is just over $7 billion. 7,013.43 million to be exact.
So more than doubling there as well, essentially. What's the CAGR for North America?
It's a steady 6.23%. Solid growth.
And within North America, the U.S. is obviously the big one, I assume.
Absolutely. The U.S. is the powerhouse in the region. It started at about $2.67 billion in 2021.
Right.
And it's projected to reach over $5.4 billion by 2033. That's a CIGR of 6.14%, so very much in line with the regional average.
Okay. What about Canada and Mexico also growing?
Definitely contributing. Canada is showing actually a slightly higher CAGR at 6.69%. It's going from about $377 million in 2021 to a projected $828 million by 2033.
So more than doubling there, too.
Yeah, strong growth.
Yeah.
And Mexico is also seeing solid expansion, from around $353 million to a forecast of $743 million by 2033, with a CAGR of 6.35%. So consistent growth across North America.
Right. Okay, clear picture there. Let's hop across the pond to Europe. How does it compare?
Europe's looking very strong as well. It started at roughly $2.9 billion in 2021, $2,904.3 million, projected to hit $3.78 billion by 2035, and then climbed to over $6.4 billion. $6,418 million by 2033.
So similar scale to North America by 2033, maybe a little less, but what about the growth rate?
Actually, the CAGR for Europe is slightly higher than North America's at 6.85%.
Oh, interesting. So a bit more momentum in Europe. Who's leading the charge there?
Germany is a real standout. It had about $560 million in 2021 and is projected to reach almost $1.3 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR of 7.19%. Really robust growth.
7.19%. Okay, Germany's strong. How about other major economies like the UK or France?
There's significant contributors, too. The UK is growing at about 6.54% CAGR, expected to cross the billion-dollar mark by 2033. France is similar, a 6.66% CAGR, heading towards $900 million.
Okay, and Italy, Russia, Spain?
all showing solid growth as well. Italy's actually quite strong with a 7.13% CAGR, similar to Germany. Russia's at 6.92%, Spain at 7.00%. So generally high sixes or low sevens across many key European countries.
It's quite widespread then, isn't it? Not just concentrated in one or two places.
Exactly. And what's interesting is even some of the smaller markets, think Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, Luxembourg, they're all showing consistent CGRs, typically between 6.6% and 6.9%.
Right.
And the rest of Europe category also grows steadily at 6.65%. It really points to a broad adoption across the continent.
A very healthy market across Europe then.
Okay.
Now, you mentioned eye-opening figures earlier. I have a feeling we're heading towards Asia-Pacific now.
You guessed it. Buckle up, because Asia-Pacific is where the growth story really takes off. This region is by far the fastest growing globally.
Okay, lay the numbers on us.
So Asia-Pacific started at about $2.44 billion in 2021.
Right, smaller starting point than North America or Europe?
Yes, but look where it's going. By 2025, it's projected to overtake North America's 2021 value, hitting $3.36 billion. And by 2033, it's forecast to surge to over $6.1 billion, almost $6.2 billion, $6,169.43 million.
Wow. So more than doubling its 2021 size and catching up fast, what's the CAGR driving that?
An impressive 7.89%. That's significantly higher than the global average or the rates in North America and Europe.
7.89%. Okay, that definitely makes it the growth engine, as you said. Who are the key players driving this in APAC? China, I imagine.
China is definitely a major force. It started at around $780 million in 2021. It's projected to hit almost $1.1 billion by 2025, and then nearly double again to over $2 billion, $2,060.96 million by 2033. The CAGR for China is a very strong 8.22%.
8.22%. Okay, huge market, huge growth. But you hinted there might be an even bigger story.
Well, maybe not bigger in total size yet, but in terms of growth rate, India is the real standout.
India. Okay, what are we seeing there?
Get this. India has the highest AGR in the entire region, possibly globally in this report. It's 8.46%.
8.46%. That's phenomenal. What does that translate to in market size?
It means India's market, which was about $435 million in 2021, is projected to explode to over $1.2 billion by 2033, so nearly tripling in size.
Nearly tripling. Wow. What's behind that, do you think? Such rapid acceleration in India?
It's likely a combination of factors. You've got a huge, relatively young population, rising disposable incomes, increasing health consciousness, perhaps better distribution networks opening up. It's sort of a perfect storm for this kind of product.
Fascinating, a real hotspot. What about other established markets in APAC, like Japan or South Korea?
Also very strong. Japan is showing a 7.75% CAGR, projected to reach $1.2 billion by 2033, similar to India's projected size. South Korea is growing steadily, too, around 7.04% CAGR.
And Australia?
Australia is also punching above its weight, showing really strong growth with an 8.11% CAGR. It's smaller in overall size, starting around $108 million, but projected to hit almost $280 million.
So across the board in APAC, China, India, Japan, Korea, Australia, and you mentioned others like Singapore, Southeast Asia, Taiwan, all showing KGRs mostly in the high sevens or even eights.
Exactly. It really solidifies Asia-Pacific's role as the dominant growth driver for the global probiotic drinks market in the coming decade.
Absolutely clear. Okay, let's move on to South America. How does the picture look there?
South America shows growth, but it's definitely more moderate compared to APAC. The region started at about $668 million in 2021.
Okay.
It's projected to grow to around $785 million by 2025, and then cross the billion-dollar mark to reach about $1.09 billion by 2033.
So decent growth, but not that explosive expansion we saw elsewhere. What's the CAGR?
It's 4.18% for the region overall. Steady, but slower.
And who leads in South America?
Brazil. Yes, Brazil is the largest market there. It's growing from about $268 million in 2021 to a projected $444 million by 2033. That's a 4.28% CAGR.
And Argentina, other countries.
Argentina showing similar growth, 4.25% of the AGR. Countries like Colombia, Peru, Chile are also expanding, but generally in that slightly lower range, around 3.9% to 4.1% CAGR.
Yeah.
So consistent, but more modest growth overall.
Got it. Steady, but not spectacular. How about the Middle East?
The Middle East presents a slightly faster growth picture than South America. The market was valued around $564 million in 2021.
Right.
Expected to hit $683 million by 2025 and just over $1 billion 1,010.02 million by 2033.
Okay, crossing that billion-dollar threshold too. And the growth rate?
The CAGR for the Middle East is 5.0%, so a bit healthier than South America.
5%. And who's the main player there? Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia is the largest contributor, yes. Moving from about $232 million in 2021 towards a projected $410 million by 2033, growing at 4.9%.
And other countries in the region, Turkey, UAE.
Yet what's noticeable is the consistency. Turkey, the UAE, Egypt, Qatar, they're all showing CAGRs pretty much right around that 5% mark. It suggests a fairly broad-based adoption trend across the key economies there.
Interesting. Okay, finally, let's touch on Africa.
Africa is another region showing consistent, albeit more moderate, growth. It started at about $470 million in 2021, projected to reach $563 million by 2025, and then forecasted to hit nearly $800 million, $794.74 million by 2033.
Okay, so not quite hitting the billion-dollar mark like the Middle East or South America in this forecast period, the KGR.
The KGR for Africa is 4.39%. So slightly higher than South America, slightly lower than the Middle East.
And within Africa, key markets like Nigeria or South Africa.
They are the main drivers. Nigeria is projected to grow from $102 million to about $171 million by 2033, with a 4.34% CAGR. South Africa shows slightly stronger growth, actually, with a 4.48% CAGR, moving from $212 million to $362 million.
Right. And the rest of Africa contributing steadily, too.
Yes. The rest of Africa category shows a 4.3% CAGR. So again, it points to an emerging market where these products are gaining traction, even if the overall pace isn't as rapid as in Asia.
Okay, that's a comprehensive tour around the globe. So let's try and wrap this up. What are the main takeaways for you, the listener?
Well, the big picture is undeniable. The global probiotic drinks market is on a solid upward trajectory. Serious growth pretty much everywhere.
Right. But with some clear regional differences in speed.
Absolutely. Asia-Pacific is, without doubt, the star performer. It's the fastest growing region by a significant margin, really powering the global expansion. You've got China, and especially India leading that charge, but strong growth across Japan, Australia, and Southeast Asia too.
Meanwhile, Europe and North America, while maybe not growing quite as fast as APAC, are still major markets showing very steady, significant expansion. They're mature, but still growing healthily.
Exactly. And then you have South America, the Middle East, and Africa. They're on a different scale, perhaps, and growing a bit more slowly. But the key word is consistent. They're consistently growing, showing that the trend towards these types of drinks is truly global.
So when you see these numbers, it really reflects how consumer priorities around health and wellness are evolving worldwide, doesn't it? And it highlights where the big opportunities might lie.
Precisely. It's a global shift towards functional beverages and taking a more proactive stance on health.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. As you see these products more and more, consider what this really strong growth, especially that explosive growth in places like India and China, tells us about the future.
Yeah, it's not just about drinks, is it? It's about a bigger trend, a global focus shifting towards wellness, towards gut health, toward using food and drink, not just for sustenance, but actively for health maintenance, preventative health, like you said.
Yeah. It really suggests that functional foods and beverages are moving from a niche interest to a mainstream part of how people think about staying healthy globally, something to definitely keep an eye on.
And just to remind everyone, this deep dive was based on the detailed analysis found in the Probiotic Drinks, a global market forecast to 2033 report by Cognitive Market Research.
Great stuff. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.